Some huge changes are happening for the Montreal Canadiens as David Reinbacher gets loaned back to his club in Switzerland. Plus, the Habs might have found their new top-line winger in Alex Newhook. We'll be discussing all that, plus a couple of guys that the Canadiens are maybe taking a little bit of a closer look at, and do they have a chance to crack the Habs roster on opening night? We'll be diving into all that on this edition of Habs Digest. Let's dive in, and Jesse, the one guy that I kind of wanted to specifically mention in this part, because pretty much everyone else actually got sent back down to Laval today, is Mattias Norlinder. And if we take a look at the lineup from last night, we had some guys like Lias Andersson and Filip who were really getting some really good looks from Habs management, keeping him around a bit. But of all these guys, Mattias Norlinder was not sent down just yet, while Andersson, Kidney, Maillet, Farrell, these guys were all sent down. Norlinder wasn't, and he made a pretty solid impact last night as well, though overall a positive impact above guys like Raphael Harvey-Pinard and Kirby Dach. Jesse, what were your thoughts on Mattias Norlinder, and do you think that there's a chance, any chance, that this left-handed defenseman could break in one of the most stacked positions for the Habs?
I think he's been a really big surprise at camp. I really liked how he's played so far, kind of showing those flashes of that offensive brilliance, being able to activate in the play, which is so great to see, So I think it's great because we kind of almost thought he might be heading to Europe and go to play hockey over there and we'll just never see him again. Mm-hmm. But instead he comes to Montreal Canadiens training camp, is playing well, and is kind of sticking around after a lot of people almost surprisingly have been kind of cut before him. That being said, one of the strongest parts of the Montreal Canadiens organization right now is our prospect depth on defense, right? Especially on that left hand. And we're stocking up, very well on that right hand as well. So obviously this is bringing out the best in everybody. He definitely has the odds stacked against him, but I think he's really done a great job of just getting his name out there again, getting on the radar management and showing them, hey, I can play. Maybe you're going to send me back to Laval, but I'm going to show you if ever you need me, call me up and I'll probably play some good hockey. So, pretty surprising to see.
Yeah, like him and William Trudeau were kind of having a bit of a fight for who was going to be better, and Trudeau kind of came out on top in Laval last year, and Trudeau looked quite good in the preseason as well, but it sure seems like Habs management was giving Norlinder a lot of chances, and he was kind of showing that offensive upside that a lot of us kind of wanted to see from him. And like you said, there was those rumors we made a video on. We thought he was gone for good, never coming back off to Europe, but no, he stuck around, training camp, really showing up. And Jesse, I thought he's been outperforming the likes of Justin Barron in this training camp. Just wanted to mention Barron a little bit as well. He really has looked a little lost out there, Jesse. I don't know what it is, but I feel like his offensive upside's not quite shining through. And when you're a guy like Norlinder, I mean, maybe he's going to try and convince Habs management that he can play a bit of right D. I'm not sure because, he's sure making a case over some of the other guys.
For sure. And even some people like Kovacevic, who we've had in the organization, since last year, he's not playing either. He's not playing too bad either. And obviously we picked up some guys and Gustav Lindstrom. So, while I'm not ready to rule out Barron right away, because we have seen some kind of good things from him, we still just want to see more, right? Because obviously just the competition is just so high right now. So he's going to really need to bring his A game if he does want to crack this opening night roster.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of competition, like you said. He is the waivers exempt, though, so feel free to call him up and down throughout the season. But very interesting nonetheless. All right, let's dive into a solution maybe, Jesse. Look, we've been talking a lot about this first line question, right? Kirby Dach, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caufield looked like such a dominant line last year, but with the Habs clearly making the statement saying we want Kirby to be a center long term, the top line wants another permanent winger, and they experimented a bit last night with Alex Newhook. As I'll flash the lines up again just to remind you guys: Cole Caufield, Nick Suzuki, and Alex Newhook, with Dach centering his own line. And I thought Newhook looked absolutely phenomenal. He looked so fast. He looked like he was able to read the play alongside Suzuki and Caufield, making the right plays at the right time. And I feel like, this is just the eye test from one game, and I don't want to overreact, but in that one game, it just felt like everything was smooth, and I don't remember seeing chemistry with anyone alongside Suzuki and Caufield like that since, I guess, Kirby Dach last year. What are your thoughts on Newhook maybe being a permanent solution for that number one winger role?
Well, he definitely played a great game last night. He definitely looked like one of our better players for sure. I'd say briefly also that Caufield and Nick Suzuki both look a lot better this year, more confident with the puck, especially Caufield is being dangerous every time he's out there. Maybe Alex Newhook helped play a role in that last night. They had a lot of chances to score, at least in that first period. It was a good first period, and I thought for sure that Alex Newhook, this one backhander, if not for a very nice save by the Leafs goalie, that's going in the back of the net. for sure. So I thought that he was just absolutely fantastic with his speed last night, and winning a couple draws when he did have the opportunity to
True.
do so as well. What I'm kind of wondering though is, with Alex Newhook kind of playing so well, I kind of almost see a world where, let's say he's doing better at the draw, everything else is being a really big impact player. Maybe he ends up taking that second line center spot and allowing Kirby Dach to get on that first line. So you're really packing a solid punch on that first line, which we know that works really good. But Newhook has shown great acumen so far at playing center. He shows that he knows how to, really use that center part of the ice with his speed. It almost unleashes his speed, I would say. I would say he's looking the best at center. So why not play to his strength? Even though he showed that he can be great on that first line, really get him there on that, let him run that second line. I think it'll be something interesting to see because, if he's having a great season, and possibly outshining Dach early on the season, you have to think that Martin St. Louis might think about this.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting point. And obviously Newhook's ability to play center is one of the reasons they traded for him. Positional versatility is very, very valuable. When you have guys like Monahan, Dach, and Newhook who can play any of the wings or center, it's great. But that's very interesting. And Newhook has looked really, really awesome. Dach has definitely still looked in control of his game while playing center, but Newhook just looks flashier, and he's had a few more standout moments than Dach so far. That's definitely something to monitor as we head into the season because we know they're both not the strongest on the face-off dot, but Newhook over his career, I believe, has been a little bit better. And while he is a bit smaller, maybe he's not as good a fit on that top line as someone like a Dach who's 6'3", 6'4", who fits in a little bit better. Very, very interesting point, and I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on because, there could be a lot of changes coming from Montreal's top lines. But unfortunately, somewhere where we're not going to see any changes this year. Look, I say unfortunately, but it's good for him. It's good for the organization. We're very glad to see this, but I'm so sad to say that seeing Reinbacher go just kind of hurts me. Here hurts my soul, Jesse. They kind of changed. So this was earlier today. There was a couple more guys, like I said, like Maillet and Anderson, but Dobesh, Kidney, Farrell, Trudeau, all to the Laval Rocket. Well, David Reinbacher was loaned back to HC Clutten in Switzerland. So the David Reinbacher days in the preseason are over. However, Jesse, he was just... look, I know I'm not going to say he was the best player on the ice or anything, because I don't think he necessarily was, but at 18 years old, to have that kind of calmness, right? And the level of confidence I had when the puck was on David Reinbacher's stick, whether it's to make a pass or to skate with the puck, or even to skate to recover on defense, make the right play, was insane. I think second to none on the team except maybe Guhle. I just feel like at his age, for what he was doing, he was like, there's nothing else we could have possibly wanted more from him.
It's so true, Josh, and I think that Kovacevic really said it great, about Reinbacher, about what's really allowing him to do so great so far this year. Not only are we seeing really great mobility from him, but what Kovacevic says, if it's okay, Josh, maybe we could pull up the quote of just,
Sure.
He goes on to say how, people nowadays in the NHL, to summarize what he's saying, a lot of people can skate fast, a lot of people can shoot the puck hard, but what really separates a player is to be able to anticipate the play of what's really going to happen next. And this is what Reinbacher is really excelling in. It's that high hockey IQ that really allows to take you to the next level. So what I think is so great about Reinbacher is not only does he have the ability to be able to anticipate the play, to see the play before it happens, 2-3 steps ahead, but he also has the mobility, the skating ability, the quickness to be able to do something about it when it happens, right? And this is a skill that not only translates defensively, but I think what was so encouraging about his last game last night is that he showed the ability to be able to do this offensively, to be able to read the play before it happens, and then put himself in a good position to actually score, right? So we knew that he could do this defensively, but the fact that he's already showing that anticipation on the offensive end is what really is exciting for me.
Oh, I could not have put it better myself. That's exactly it. And I think if any Habs fans watching these games didn't agree with that, I think, well, yeah, maybe rewatch it, right? Because David Reinbacher's ability to know where to be on offense or on defense all the time is incredible. And like you said, Kovacevic said that's one of the best skills that can translate to the NHL. So what he did was basically the best case scenario. He came over to North America. He played with, in the preseason, in these prospect scrimmages, he played in the preseason here with Montreal, left an incredible impression, looked like one of the team's most solid defensemen, logged some minutes with the Habs' top left D, except for maybe Matheson, and Cayden Guhle. And now he's off back into Switzerland, where he's going to play power play 1 minute, eat over 20 minutes a night as the team's probable number one defenseman. I feel like you couldn't possibly ask for more. And Jesse, I mean, aren't you just so excited to maybe see Reinbacher in action in the NHL at the age of 19 next year? Like, he's so good at 18. Imagine what he's going to be like at the age of 22 or 23.
Yeah, he's gonna come back like a beast. Like he's gonna grow. He's a big guy. He just kind of, he's just gonna grow into that frame even more. But you made a great point before the show, Josh, and I definitely agree from just the eye test last night. Like, didn't David Reinbacher have great chemistry with Nick Suzuki, and then also that first line? Like that is huge if we could not just get our center and then our two wingers kind of figure out having that good chemistry. Reinbacher comes back a year from now, presumably, and looks great. Continues that great chemistry, right? Which could be so important to our power play, which we kind of want to jumpstart as well. But just the fact that he's almost bringing out the best in these players as well, is so encouraging. If you want to see like your top defenseman that you just drafted, click with any players on your team. It's your 1C. It's your number one line. So for me, that was another really great sign to see as well.
Yeah, great point. Bringing out the best and everyone around him, doing everything we could possibly ask for. Power play is a different story. I ranted a bit about that last night, but yeah, there's a lot to be fixed there. However, David Reinbacher, maybe he could be the solution. Super, super excited to see him come back next year and wish him the best. We'll be tracking all his progress over in Switzerland this season. But that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're very, very close to 8,000 subscribers, and we really appreciate your support. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.